Good afternoon, Joelle Farrow. Welcome on VH Berries.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
I am extremely grateful because the cause and the effects of your effort in delivering consistent masterstroke is revealing the fine line between the necessary and the optional. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am doing good as well, and you have a vast supply of drive and passion that could maybe fill a book similar in length to This Is Not a Test, and it's 346 pages.
Very, very excited about that project, yes.
I would love Joelle Farrow to discuss about This Is Not a Test, because this is more than just a simple title, but this is an entire phrase that is used to draw people's attention to a very important piece of information, and this is going to be very soon the title of an upcoming feature film that shows Lily Price. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Absolutely, yeah. This is a project that I just wrapped recently, and it was so much fun. It was such an incredible cast and director, and the whole crew, honestly, made the experience really come to life. And it's based on a book by Courtney Summers called This Is Not a Test. It's a thriller. It's an incredible book. I read it in like one sitting, basically. It captivates you from start to finish, and it's really, really good. So I highly recommend reading it. But the movie is making it, you really just saw how passionate all of the actors were in making this movie, and the director as well. It's a zombie apocalypse, and it follows someone named Sloane, played by Olivia Holt, who is an incredible actress, and I am playing her sister in it. And it is just a really riveting story that I think a lot of people are going to just love going on this journey with the actors and with the characters. I think there's a lot of different characters that people can relate to. Some that people are going to love, some that people are going to hate. But it's just a really beautiful, messy story that I think is going to resonate with audiences really well.
Absolutely, Joelle Farrow. This piece of art is going to be very relatable. And if I understood correctly, the book is a novel from author Courtney Summers that was released on June 19 of 2012, and you read it in one sitting, which means that you spent the entire day or night.
Basically, I was flying from LA to Toronto, and I had started the book the night before. I think I was a couple chapters in, and then the next day I was flying, and I read majority of it on the flight, and then I think I only had like 1 or 2 chapters left by the end of the day. I flew through it. It was too good to put down, and I really think the movie is going to be the same way. I think people are going to be just captivated by this story, and I'm really, really excited. I don't have all of the information. I'm not allowed to say a lot either, but I do know that people are going to really like it. So I'm excited.
Absolutely, Joelle Farrow. And to come back to the specific book and novel, This Is Not a Test has 346 pages with 4 distinct parts, and it opens with a message saying, Lily, I woke up and the last piece of my heart disappeared.
Oh.
I opened my eyes and I felt it go.
Yeah. Have you read the whole book?
I have read as much as I could because it is 4-part long, but those first words on page 1 are very powerful, and it's a direct message to your character, Lily Price.
Well, yes, exactly. And that's why it's just so good that I can't say too much. And that's why I was wondering if you've read the book in its entirety. But there's so many cool things that happen in this story, a lot of twists and turns. But yeah, just the opening alone is powerful. So you can just imagine how the rest of the story goes. But yeah, that's great that you could remember those first few lines because they are powerful, like you said.
As a matter of fact, Joelle Farrow, the first line is very strong, and the story is talking about Sloan and 4 other students who are taking shelter in their high school during a zombie outbreak. Can you tell us a little bit more about how this will be adapted in the feature film with those creators?
Yes, so this movie, the story, it follows a bunch of different characters. There is Sloan and 4 other characters that the story mainly follows, and it kind of is just these different personalities all coming together with their own ideas on survival. Like you said, it's a zombie apocalypse, so they are, they have their own ideas, their own ways in which they think is best to survive, and it's seeing how all those personalities and characters come together. And I don't want to give away too much because it really is going to be fantastic, but there is so much heart and so much passion that was put into this project by director, by writer, by Courtney, who's the author, and all the actors and all the crew. Everybody put so much work into it. So I don't want to give it away too much, but I think it is going to be really incredible.
Furthermore, Joelle Farrow, that feature film, is going to answer the question, when everything is gone, what do you hold on to? And behind the scenes, what were your favorite moments?
Ooh, that's a great question. The cast bonded so well. Everyone was so sweet, and there was a lot of fun times that I got to have with Olivia, who is leading this film, where, we would hang out on set. On the last day, she got a smoothie truck for everybody, which was so sweet. And yeah, just working together was incredible. We've actually worked together once before on a project prior. So once I found out I was going to be a part of This Is Not a Test and knew she was attached to it, it made me so excited just because it was so fun to work with her years ago. And it was pretty serendipitous and a cool coincidence that we got to work together again.
Absolutely. Joelle Farrow, you're working with some other fellow actors, and the actual book, This Is Not a Test, already has a sequel called Please Remain Calm. This is not a test. Number 2, which now question the existence of a second feature film.
I have not heard anything about that. I mean, that would be pretty cool, but nothing that I am aware of. I did not know. Nothing that I know.
There is nothing that you currently know about the sequel, and in definitive, your appearance in this work will soon become inseparable from the novel, as hard to tell apart as Vanya and Tanya.
Oh, right. Got Game. That was a fun project. Yes, that was the short. I played a character. Now I can't even remember. Was it Vanya or Tanya? We wrote that in 48 hours. That's the whole idea. It's a 48-hour film festival, and it was so much fun. So you take the Friday to write a script. It has to be between 5 to 7 minutes. It had to include a prop, a line, and a certain character. And every single group had to do this regardless of the genre. So we wrote ours on Friday. We went to production on Saturday with some friends from Toronto that are also in the industry, mostly actors. And then you edit and have it posted and ready to go by 7 p.m. on Sunday. So that was the coolest challenge. It was so much fun. And I got to work with some of my best friends. So that was really fun to do. That's really funny that you said Vanya and Tanya. I was not expecting you to say that.
Absolutely. Joelle Farrow, you do not remember which character you played, and her name was Tanya.
I was Tanya.
With
okay.
a nickname, which is Belfast York.
And Belfast York, that was the name that every single group had to use. So our writer, he's so clever, and he found a way to weave that in into my character and kind of a nickname for her. But again, we had to write so fast. That's kind of the whole idea of the competition. So that's why I couldn't even remember my name in it. But I got to do that with one of my best friends, Georgia. She played Vanya. Georgia Cadence. She's an incredible actor from Toronto as well. And yeah, it was really fun. We haven't officially released it, but we will soon.
This is a very solid short film, Joelle Farrow, and I feel that participating in that 48 hours festival and film project not only challenged your creativity, but also have led to the birth of the Truth Fairy.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. I knew I wanted to start producing and trying a couple different roles in the film industry. Shorts are an amazing place to start, and I got a little taste of that with Got Game in the 48-hour film festival. But a great friend of mine, Amalia Williamson, who's a fantastic actor from Toronto, she is a writer as well and a director, so she had the idea for the Truth Fairy, and just 3 weeks ago, we wrapped production on it. We're currently in post, but I am a producer on it as well as playing the lead actor, Bree. It follows Bree the night before her wedding. She gets visited by someone called the Truth Fairy. I'm able to ask the Truth Fairy any questions I may have before my wedding the next day, and it just follows this really beautiful journey of the two of us. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. It was really cool to step into the shoes of being a producer and not only an actor. And you just see so much more. There's so much more to film. And you're kind of wearing 27 hats at once, and it's hard work and it's exhausting, but it's so fulfilling and something I definitely want to continue doing.
Absolutely. Joelle Farrow, you were wearing around 72 different hats and also working alongside writer and director Amalia Williamson from Oakville, as well as co-producer Morgan Cohan from Summerland, British Columbia.
And they're both incredible. Yes, I couldn't have done it without them. The three of us spent so many hours together. And they're both incredible actors as well. So we both have seen that side of the industry for so long and really wanted to scratch that creative itch of doing something ourselves and creating something ourselves. And I think that's so important as actors to step behind other roles and learn different sides of the industry. It can only help your acting too. But I think the main reason of doing this together was because we all really had a passion for it. We all believed in the story and worked really well together, and we're still going. I mean, we're in post, so the goal is to start to get this into some festivals and share with the world and see what happens from there.
You will see what happens from there, Joelle Farrow, after the festival run. And I am very curious about how the creative process went during those long hours round table.
Yeah, for the Truth Fairy, you mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I mean, we started months ago with prep, where we're kind of looking at, the script and how we can refine it. You have to start looking at locations, how much budget we're willing to allocate to it. We start casting. You start thinking of the different crew members you want to bring on that'll share the same vision. Things down to craft and making sure your team is fed and you have transport. There's a million different things to think about when you're creating a short. And the same would go if you're creating a feature or a TV series as well. And I feel like you can't really know the role unless you do it. When someone asked me, what does it, what entails becoming a producer? What exactly do you do? And I think the better answer is what do you not do? Because you're kind of doing everything. And yeah, from start to finish, you just have hands in the project. So it's really cool to have that creative control that as an actor, you oftentimes don't have. You can prep your scenes and you show up to set and you do your best and then you let it go. And you don't really get a say in post-production or in what takes they use or how the story is going to be cut together. So being a producer on this is really cool because I actually get to have a bit more say. And also I'm watching myself on camera too, because I'm acting in this one as well. So it's really interesting to see both sides.
Moreover, Joelle Farrow, if you're watching yourself behind the screen, it means that you are seeing the anxious, apprehensive, and fretting bride called Brie that you're playing yourself.
Yes, exactly. Definitely got to tap into a lot of different emotions for this one. It's a comedy, so it's a lot of fun. Anxiety is one of them for sure. And it kind of, Amalia is such an amazing writer, so it takes this bride on such a journey, such an emotional journey, that I kind of got to tap into a lot of emotions, which was fun as an actor. It's kind of something that all actors want to do.
This is something that most actors want to do, Joelle Farrow, and one thing is for sure. In The Bride, Honest Answers, she will avoid any reference to insects to avoid causing allergic reaction to bug bites.
Yep. Been there, done that. Yes. If you are referring to my character on Skymed, yes, Rosie had a crazy reaction to bug bites. That was wild.
Absolutely, Joelle Farrow. I would love to explore that television series called Skymed, in which you're portraying the character of Rosie in season 2 and season 3. Can you tell us a little bit more about this allergic reaction about and around bug bites?
Yes, absolutely. Rosie was so fun. I love her. She was bubbly and a little naive and enters the show because she stumbles out into the middle of the road after a camping trip and is not able to see because she gets bit by black flies and has a crazy allergic reaction. And when I say crazy, I mean my eyes are closed over and I can see nothing. So I'm just wandering in the woods where a paramedic, almost runs into me in the middle of the road. And from there, my character goes on this journey, starts to date the paramedic, and then kind of gets maneuvered into the rest of the season. And she's so much fun. But definitely those prosthetics, that was crazy. I had, it was an incredible prosthetics team, but they had to put a full face piece on me. So, about 3 weeks before we started filming, I got a face mask done where they put a mold on my eyes to make sure that they can match it correctly. And then when they put this on, I actually physically could not see. They had the tiniest little pinpricks where my eyes would be, and that's what I was kind of looking out of throughout the day. But I had that on all day long for that scene, for those couple scenes. And so it was really hard to maneuver on set. There was moments, I remember we broke for lunch and I was trying to eat my food and I couldn't see anything because I had this prosthetic blocking my vision. But the cast and the crew were amazing and helped me out. But it was fun, and it was a cool experience to do on set. That was the first time I'd ever worn prosthetics, so it was interesting.
Those prosthetics were interesting. Joelle Farrow and the production team may had hired 2 persons to feed you all the food during the lunch.
Yeah, I was I was struggling trying to eat my lunch there, that's for sure.
That character named Rosie is very inspiring because of that reaction to those bug bites. And she is also dealing with a lot of pressure and stress in Skymed. And I feel that this character also helped you to become a better advocate for mental health and well-being in acting, and to change the way you handle pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that I have learned a lot over my career, and something that I think a lot of actors struggle with, just humans in general, but especially in the acting industry. Making sure your mental health is in check is so important, because there is a lot of pressure. There's a lot of rejection. There's a lot of comparison. And, you really need to make sure that you're navigating that in a way that's healthy, because I personally have gotten lost in depending so much on booking a job that when I don't, I start to beat myself up and get really down on myself and lose all hope. And it's so hard not to let the discouragement get to you. And I think it's just really important that you can build a life that feeds who you are outside of acting. Your career is going to have highs and lows. That's just the job that we chose. But if your entire sense of worth depends on whether or not you're on set or not, then it's going to absolutely drain you. So I really think it's important for actors specifically to have a really good community. I feel so lucky to have a community of actors and other people in the film industry that encourage each other, and we're not competitive, but we're collaborative, and we want to see each other win. And I think that's massive. And I also just think taking care of your mental health is a way that you're going to find joy in the process of acting, and therefore probably start booking more anyways. So I just think only positive can come out of it. And not waiting for, a role to validate you, but instead validating yourself first. It's mental health is the foundation to let your talent shine, in my opinion.
Absolutely, Joelle Farrow. You're validating yourself first. And this is very important because you started your journey years ago during and through the intermediary of a cousin that you met at a wedding at the age 13.
Yeah, I loved acting when I was little. I did theater quite a bit, but I think I saw like Lindsay Lohan or something on Disney Channel, and I was like, Mom, I want to do that. I want to be on TV. And I remember the exact moment that I thought this could be my job. And it was a scene from Lost where Evangeline Lilly, who plays Kate, she's in the pilot episode and she's helping Jack. And it just, as a little girl, I was like, I want to do that. So I talked to my mom, who didn't really understand what the world was, kind of shoved it off. She didn't fully say no yet, but wasn't saying yes. And I went to my cousin's wedding, who said, actually, somebody is attending, who's an actor. You should talk to him. So little 13-year-old me, I found this person, got the name and contact of his agent. The next day, without my parents knowing, called this agent, and she's still my agent today. My parents have been so supportive, and they were confused with how I got in contact with her, but they were definitely on board. And ever since, it's just been a really good partnership, and I've known that this is a career I want to keep pursuing.
It's been, Joelle Farrow, a very pivotal phone call. And if I understood correctly, during that festive event, you didn't have any time to try the olives on the silver platters, hanging on toothpicks, but you were instead already crafting a painstaking network.
Yes, indeed.
And that specific network also expanded because you're currently living in Toronto. Can you tell us a little bit more about it and about that specific location that is very close to your heart?
Yeah, so I'm kind of splitting my time between Toronto and LA right now. But I grew up in Toronto, and so it's where all my family are and my friends. And so I figured I can skip out on winters and come to LA for a little bit. And I definitely wanted to see the industry in America and start at least expanding the people I know and the people I can work with out here. But Toronto will always have a very special place in my heart. And it is a great place as an actor, too. I think there's a lot of projects that are filming there and going to be filming there in maybe not always right downtown Toronto, but within the area for sure. So that's been a huge positive for me. And it's where I got my start as an actor on commercials and smaller Canadian TV shows. And that's been really helpful. So I think for actors, if they are in Toronto, there's so much filming, and you don't have to be in Hollywood to be able to be on these productions. You can definitely do that in areas in Canada.
There are plenty of production happening in Ontario and Toronto. And in conclusion, I am looking forward to witness This Is Not a Test, as well as to discover the upcoming future of the many Farrow facets. Thank you very much, Joelle Farrow.
Thank you so much, Victor. So good talking to you.